Ah, there we go. Okay. Hello. How's everybody doing? Let's go fishing. So the goal today is I want to catch... Whoa. Where in the goddamn hell? Is I want to get on Arapaima Rock. And I want to catch some uniques so I can see my maxes. I went the wrong way. Where am I going? No, this is the right way. Sorry, had a moment of the stupid. There we go. Hey, what's up? Little Marvel Man? Alright. Jump to the next day. Got your controller working on as you actually play the game. There you go. Progress. Let's throw that a bit right. Throw this a bit left. I should change this one's fishing string. One sec. One sec. Oh, the leader. I should have a leader up here. Whoop. Nope. There we go. There we go. I bet this game is so much easier to play with the controller. I mean, I use mouse and keyboard, but my brother likes the controller. I have a lot of prawns. May as well use them. All right. Let's catch some arapaima. And we're left tomorrow in the river with some cut bait. Hopefully able to catch an alligator gar, striper, or sturgeon. Sounds good. Man, with cut bait, like you can catch just about anything. Hey, what's up, Nico? How you doing today? Oh, Nico. I found something I wanted to tell you about because I had never seen it before. So evidently, there's this thing. Are you doing good making money? Awesome. I just found YouTube videos of this, and it's called Figure Eight Trailer Racing. And I guess it's kind of like a mix between like a destruction derby and a rally. It is crazy. Like, we had the sound on, but we couldn't really hear the rules. But everybody's got like a beat up truck, like an old cheap truck, and they all are pulling trailers. Oh, you heard of it? But it's a figure eight track, so like everybody meets in the middle. And I think the whole point is like keep your trailer alive. And oh my god, we were watching it and we were like, we could do this. We can find us a cheap trailer and a cheap truck. It looked so funny. Don't you test me? I mean, the only negative is that like the place it was taking place, the location of the race was in like Illinois or something. And I was like, Illinois isn't that far. Map has alligator gar. Oh, that's Quanchkin. Aim at the big tree where everybody else is throwing. But it's also something that we were looking into because I think I've told you before that like my fantasy football league, we always do something weird to decide who like our draft order. And we were thinking that if they did something like that near us, that'd be a fun thing to like go and pick cars and try to see like however they do in the race or the demolition derby or whatever would be like how we would decide draft order for fantasy football. Ended up no one near in Louisiana does destruction derbies. We'd have to go to like at best we could find was like Texas. A semi derby. Uh I did see semi trailer oh, best spots for alligator gar. There's two spots for alligator gar. Number one, in the so imagine this is the map, okay? Whenever you're looking at it, kind of up here in the kind of like almost directly north, there's a little spot. You'll see a whole bunch of people kind of like congregated on this one little spot where you can't go any further left, and they'll be throwing at this giant tree, cast about 20 feet in front of it. That's a good spot for alligator gar. The other spot, and the really? The only other one that I'm aware of is if you look at the map, one sec, let me catch this. Okay, so we're looking at the map. It's circular again. All the way to the right, there's a spot where you can drop, and there's like several deep spots that's like really good spots for catfish. The one that's to the south, you can also catch alligator gar there. Use like a shiner. You don't need to use anything expensive. They're fun though. I like catching the alligator gar there. So let me tell you about semi is it semi racing? Yeah, it was semi racing that I thought was really funny because they had to pull I think it was 25,000 pounds of like wood. And it was like the version that I saw, they had to pull that wood, go up a hill, and then like the finish line was at the top of the hill. So it was like a big thing about who could control their torque the best. And I just remember seeing the semis, like every single one of them would like pull to the right like that because of their flywheel. You always want to have contest derby. Oh, that'd be fun. You do it. But yeah, man, I just started catching some of those videos on YouTube and they looked really fun. Oh, especially the trailer one, because there were people, because like as long as it didn't matter what type of trailer you had, so they had everything from people pulling like houses. One person had a hot tub that they had filled with water. I remember one person, I guess they were having difficulty finding something, so they were just pulling like a straight up like whenever you think of like a cheap just like trailer that someone just loads like random stuff on that they like some people would usually buy for like a lawn business. They had just one of those they were pulling. It was so funny. Like I was, cause like most people also like decorated the front car and like put like like paintings and other kind of stuff like that on there. The one I was cheering for was just a regular old. It was just a suburban that was pulling a. I think it was pulling a small camper, and it was hilarious. Combine derby. Oh jeez. Build a car using like 20 derbies till she can't be fixed anymore. Hey man, if you're really good with like a hammer and a welder, you keep that stuff going for a while. There was another one I saw that was, I guess it was more like a rally than a demolition derby, but it was still like a whoever can last the longest type thing. And this one was only for like cars. And they put up different like water barrels, like different things in the middle of the road that you could interact with. So there were like water barrels, there were signs, just random stuff that you could hit and then would like just break and not mess up your car too much. You've done a few derbies. God, that sounds fun. Because then those people would be like, "Hey, you're watching my video on your thing," and then they would copyright strike it. Oh, I also saw bus demolition derbies. Like you had to have like a school bus or something like that. Those were also really funny. I don't think you can even put. Um, I think I disabled all links in my chat. I can't even put my own links. That was tiny fish anyway. No problem, man. Appreciate the follow. Come here. Yeah, it was Nico's OnlyFans. He was just spamming it constantly. We were like, we get it. You have nice calves. But the thing I loved about the school bus demolition derby was I think they had like an agreement not to hit each other head on because there's so little like room. Like you get hit once on the front and your like bus just breaks down. So what they were doing was it was like coordinated. They all just like turned backwards and just hit each other with the back of the buses. It was so funny. And Nico, I just thought you would have gotten a kick out of that. Because it was like me and my friends, we were just sitting there like on YouTube just watching. We couldn't stop watching them. We were just like, there's so much crazy stuff going on right now. Oh, hey, what's up, Dilly? Can't hit on the driver's side. That makes sense. I have noticed that if they're doing like the demolition rallies, they'll like try to sideswipe each other so that the truck, because their buses are so top, like so high, they'll just. I caught a couple. Let me see. What did we get so far? I got trophy arapaima. Nothing huge yet, though. We just started. I've only been going for like 18 minutes. You do it. But yeah, one of the days where I didn't stream when I was planning on it, the reason I didn't stream was I was just stuck on those videos and I was just watching them back to back to back. It was great. Pin it to the ground, don't let go. You know what was impressing me on a lot of those like rallies and stuff was the actual the people who were driving the forklifts because they were doing some crazy shit with those forklifts. Try to get like because they were trying to get the riders like back into it and everything. Two-person derby can't hit the driver's side or passenger side. Why would you two-person derby? I mean, it makes sense then. So you'd only be able to like hit the back or the front. But we were trying to think like person derbies. I don't know, man. The two-person derby sounds even more dangerous. You've just got an extra person in there for no good reason. Can the second person like try to fix like anything in the car or something? Oh, a youth derby. Parents. Okay, that makes sense. And I did like it because I think it was the one, no, not the one in Illinois. We looked it up. It was one in Pennsylvania. Um, they had like an old school, like fire truck. So like the moment someone flipped and almost caught on fire, like the truck just like shot out there and just like put it out. It was funny. Just that one. I figured maybe like the second person was like a mechanic, and like as stuff broke, they were like trying to fix it inside the car or something. Stop for a little and do that on repeat. From what I found, there's three different ways I reel. Um, Stop and go. I'll do Twitch, and then I'll just do a slow, steady stream. And what I'll usually do is switch between the three until I figure out which one they want, because it does change a little bit depending on like barometer and like the weather. Sometimes they won't hit certain presentations. So what I'll usually do is I'll stick to like my favorite is just reeling slowly, like what I'm doing here with this one. And if it doesn't work, then I'll start switching it up. Then I'll do the stop and goes, and say the stop and goes don't work. Um, then I'll do Twitch, and it all just kind of depends. Because there's been times when I've been like bass fishing, and they will only hit a slow, steady retrieve. But then like you'll hit almost anything. That's tiny. That was really tiny. There we go. But we were also watching a few of those rallies, and we felt bad. There was this one guy. Um, don't remember what he did, but on the very first lap of his rally, um, the racetrack they were at had a little bit of a ditch right on the edge. So because they had stuff in the middle that was important, so they had a little ditch to catch, and he got turned like so. It was like this. He got turned like this, and both of his back wheels got caught in the ditch, and he was just immediately out of the race. And we were just saying, dude, that sucks. Like you paid all this money, like you've been modifying your car, you went and got the weird decorations and stuff, and then on the very first lap, you get barely bumped because all that really happened was this: he just went and was stuck. We are like, that would suck because at least if you go out in the first, but like you get hit by someone or something, your car did its job. You entertained the people. But we thought that was just like a huge waste. Because we also noticed that like we were reading because we were having trouble determining where it was located because there's a bunch of different like we were reading the advertisements trying to figure out where it was located, and there were a bunch of these places that had multiple locations, and we finally figured out it was Illinois. We thought it was like Louisiana because of the names of a couple of vehicles, before we realized that it was actually just like teams from Louisiana that drove all the way to Illinois to compete. But I would think that there'd be like there's got to be, demolition derbies and stuff closer to Louisiana, right? Right? Come on, unique arapaima. What out there like that when the blue thing pops up? Oh, there's basically like two different ways to cast. First one, I'm just gonna waste it. Like you can do that. So like on a computer, it's right click, and that shows you where you're going to be casting more accurately. But it also tells you like exactly like how much power you can do. Now with the other click, you just kind of wing it. Now here's the thing, I don't know how to do it on a controller if you're playing an Xbox or anything like that. Okay. Drivers will be 18 plus, so lawsuit reasons stuff. Okay. You are on PC? Okay, good. Then it's just right click. Like you'll often see me my first couple of throws will be with this. And then after I kind of get the distance down, I won't probably use it again just because it takes too long. Because if you do it like this, it's faster to throw. You don't have to be perfect in this game. As long as you're near. Well, cheers. Oh, you got the advanced one. Nice. I get the PS5. I did not get the PS5. There was actually. Oh, what was it? There was some game that was coming out in the PlayStation only. I don't remember what it was, and I was like, Nika was right. Maybe I should get a PS5. But I already forgot what game it was. It was something newish. It wasn't God of War. It wasn't. I don't remember. Tell you you're just smart. Yeah. Never said you weren't. That unique must have hit by now. I wonder if that unique was the one that I dropped whenever I was switching between the two different rods. That would suck. All right, I'm gonna go to the other spot real quick while there's still time. Oop, wrong button. And it's a shouldn't have been a huge ad break. I don't have the big ad breaks aren't scheduled. They're just whenever I decide to do it. What time am I getting off? Probably around 4, give or take a little bit. I do work tomorrow. However, it's not. I don't want anchor down. I want anchor up. It's like I work tomorrow, but it's a really late one, so I should be fine. Yeah, pretty much. There's not like a dedicated like I am closing type of deal. It's just I'm one of the few people who doesn't mind the shift. I like it because I can sleep in. There's an arapaima. But I do have an early shift every now and then. Gotta mop the floors now. Yeah. My biggest job is making sure that everybody in the store is basically doing their jobs. We got a team that comes in and actually does the mopping of the floors. Ooh, another arapaima. I don't have the power to fire someone instantly, but I can just send them home. Low rod tension makes me lose damn big fish. Yeah, it happens every now and then, man. There we go. Louisiana. I'm like a lower level manager. Plus, there's no manager who can instantly fire at the stores, no matter what. Um, Mostly because we don't want to get sued by anybody. So we like you can't fire someone unless like HR gives you like approval. You fought the thing for 40 minutes. Yeah, that happens, man. No, but it's one of those things where like if you've got a good reason that they should be fired and you send off all your write-ups, eventually HR will be like, "Hey, yeah, you can fire him," and then you can terminate him. Hey man, I've got a video of me on my YouTube fighting one of these arapaima for was it an hour and a half? Almost 2 hours. Then it popped off. There we go. No, it's just X1 Jesse Gaming. I thought I had a link on it on my Twitch. Oh wait, I forgot. I don't have one of those like little good robots that just pops it out every now and then. Fought a fish for 2 hours. Yeah, I okay. So here's the reason why. Um, this is one of the few levels where, as long as you didn't buy DLC, you can technically be under equipped for the biggest of the fish. So like you can catch air like unique size arapaima, just not the really big ones. And if you catch a really really big one, there's still a tiny chance you can catch it, but you got to be lucky with how it randomly turns. So I decided to try to catch it. Ended up being a huge waste of my time. Um, you can pretty much like figure out like I got it down to where if the fish pulls out to about 400 yards, just completely stop. It's not worth fighting. Put it on your rod holder and just let the fish eventually fall off because of tension. It's not worth losing your bait, losing your hook, losing your leader. But if they can't pull any further than about 200 yards, you probably have a shot at catching it. Well, little did I know there was one that was had the capability of pulling to 400, but had never quite got, all the way. Oh, hey, I appreciate it. In fact, the fight was so long, I think I had to break it up into 3 videos. Here we go. But we just upgraded reels and rods, so I think I can catch all the biggest of the big now. I need to go and try sharks again and see if I can catch the trophy shark. Don't fight it if not you fight it. You still have a tiny, tiny chance at catching it. Even if it's overmatched for you. But the other way around is like if you're in a boat like I am, where I don't have the anchor down, whenever they pull, you just catch up to them. No, I appreciate it. I try to have a like a little silly video as the little front one. You want me to do some sharks? Okay. Let me finish out on this arapaima, and I'll do sharks next. I got a spot where I can test it. I will warn you, sharks are much slower than arapaima, and then Asinico. Also, the sharks are bastards. Skip them, don't do it. So like, it's so difficult to explain, but like, in order to get good at catching sharks, you have to be able to jump from like spot to spot to spot in order to have an okay shot at catching a trophy. If you do the whole strategy of staying in one spot, kind of like how I do with the arapaima, you're probably not going to catch enough of them to make it worth your time. Oh yeah, Nico is permanently anti-shark. They did him wrong. You see, in the past, shark took his lunch money. I mean, I can teach you anything you want right now. My problem right now is I'm trying to level up. I'm trying to get to 80. Because they're about to drop some new map, the saltwater one. And since I don't play the game all that often, like I don't play near as much as I should. The little bit I'm on here, I'm trying to level. Imagine not being 80. Okay, so leveling up fast has more to do with the XP. An ad grouper? I don't know. I've heard potentially sailfish, but they don't even have like an estimated date of when that stuff's gonna drop. So I'm not certain. Because I'm excited because there's going to be like clubs. There's going to be um, you can actually carry other people in your boat, and I think it's just going to be a huge improvement for the game. Like 10, the biggest thing I can tell you right now, Dilly, is catch as many fish as fast as you can right now. In fact, focus more on money at this level because you're going to catch too much. You're going to get too much experience accidentally. Get a barbless hook if you can find one. Barbless will make your experience go up. Now it will be more annoying because it'll be harder because you have to keep the tension on them because bass and stuff will be more likely to spit the hook. Oh, this one looks pretty big. Hey, show you what that is. So you can buy like string and stuff, and you can get hooks. So in your terminal tackle section, like I've got floats, I've got sinkers, and then I've got a bunch of hooks. So these here, they don't say anything special. Hooks one aught, and all that. Those are actually easier to catch the fish with. Barbless hooks are slightly more difficult. because it's easier for the fish to come off. But you can only buy those in the shop. It'll be under like terminal tackle, barbless hooks. Like there's probably not going to be here right now just because the shop doesn't have everything when you're at a level. But this is one of the few things that I would recommend spending your fish coins on because it helps a lot, especially when you're a low level. It makes it faster. But that's all you got to do to get a few. Get some like geez, what size? If you're 10, probably number twos. It's slightly because like it starts you with eights, but twos are a little bit bigger, but you can still catch small fish. Then I went to ones. Then I went to one aught because like this is what I had to buy, and then eventually like I got one aught barbless, and then I just stayed barbless since then. Now you can also get, there's a jig. So like there's versions of spinner baits and stuff. Like this is a barbless spinner. You can get those just by it's usually from doing random challenges. Like challenges you may not even know you're doing. Where am I? So for example, there's for every main predator fish, there's a challenge of catch so many, and you get a thing. There's one for flipping your kayak. There's one for how many feet you can get pulled in a kayak. There's just how much you drive your boat. There's so much stuff. And I plan on going back and finishing all that. Oh, nice. Gotta be nice. It's almost a 9 anyway. Don't waste your bait coins on a kayak. Don't even worry about boats until probably level maybe your 30s. You do not need one early on. A boat pass. If you do anything, like if you decide to spend money on this game, buy one of the big DLCs at the end. Either Amazon here or I think that's pretty much everyone's favorite is this level. Congo's the second best because it's the highest level. Number one, you'll level fast, and number two, you'll get a bunch of really good equipment, and you'll get a free boat. But it does cost like real world money, and it's only a temporary thing. Like you get to keep the equipment, but you don't get to fish those levels forever. It's only for like a month or so. By Amazon, you were telling me where to the other day. Like, but here's the thing. Like, I don't even recommend buying the stuff because like if you're still having fun playing the game, like your equipment levels up with you. So the biggest recommendation is especially early levels. Every time you get to a new map, you should probably upgrade your rods just so that the big fish that give you the most experience and stuff, you're still able to catch them because you're going to want to get better rods, reels, and string. Fishing early in the moment. All right, man. I will say I'll put it up on my YouTube. See if I can catch a few sharks for you because I do need to test out my rod and reel anyway. So Here we go. Oop, 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 oop. That was a good Willie. I went the wrong way. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. YouTube is X1 Jesse Gaming. It's got a picture of me with my old mask on. Generally, unless I have like a bunch of like issues with the stream, I generally put all those streams up. And then if anything funny happens, I'll put up the little highlights. Like these goddamn arapaima, they glitch so much. And right turn. Oop, oop, oop. All right, here we go. Everyone's favorite series of turns. I think they made that easier to go through for because of people like me. Oh yeah, you're welcome, man. Don't worry about it. Hey, there were people who helped me whenever I was growing up in this game because this game's tutorial is poop. No, if you buy DLC, you only get the map for like 60 days or so. That's the negative I was telling you about the DLC. The positive is you get to keep all the equipment. So if you get the stuff for I honestly don't know how much it is. It used to be like $10 or something like that. Catch fish in Lonestar? Oh man. What level are you? 30 days, $30. Okay. Catching fish in Lonestar is this the spot? Oh, get over here. So Lonestar. I'm assuming you're like just started the game. You get Amazon River for free at 68. Level 9 only got $200. Okay. So here's my general strategy for Lonestar. Okay, where's a good spot I can show you? All right. So Lonestar is kind of like a oval. whenever you spawn in, there's a house on this side. There's that little bridge down here. My favorite spot is to go like where the house is, walk all the way up to the top. If you keep following the edge of the water, there's a spot where you can't go anymore. If you do that, if you want to go for the bigger fish, depending on if you have it or not, if you pull up the map, let me show you here, like this, you see the darker blue colors? That shows you on the map the deeper spots. So there's a spot that, if we say this is Lonestar, that's about right here. 30 days. Wait, for 3 days. Oh man, I don't know. I know some people who played on a lot and they got up to the max level. They like got up to 50 or 60. Because as long as you put some time into it, like, because you're gonna catch like the size of the fish you're gonna catch is gonna be huge compared to what you have. You're gonna skyrocket through the small levels. Okay, so back to Lone Star. There's a catfish spot right here. You can just put like dog like pet food or cheese, something like that. Throw it in there in that deep spot, and you've got some grass right here, so you can go crappie fishing and you can go bass fishing there. And then the last thing is just this general area at the top of Lone Star. Um, Something with how like the terrain goes is really good for just spawning bass in general. I think around level 9 you get a little spoon. Do I still have it? I might still have it. Let me see. I still have that little spoon. Oh, I got rid of it. No, here it is. You get a little slop spoon. One of these. So, like these little bitty spoons like that, that'll catch you like your bass. Um, your more catfish-ish type baits, so something that smells dead or dying, will catch you like pet food here. I still have some left over. That'll catch you catfish. And then like worms, like red worms, that'll catch you like the crappie. And as far as level 9 goes, that's probably all I would go for. Um, but once you're a little bit higher of a level, you can start going for the smallmouth buffalo. You have to use a size 2 hook, and oh god, what bait was it? I think it was a semolina ball. But there's a couple spots you can go with those, and you can catch some bigger fish. And the smallmouth buffalo is worth the most experience at Lone Star. Okay, let's put that one there. That one there. Oh, why is it telling me welcome to my chat? What happened? Oh, hey, what's up, man? Oh, my phone's acting up. But am I losing? I didn't lose frames. Only my phone's messing up. Okay, well, that's good, I guess. Alright, so we're going to switch to shark mode. Multiple rod holders. You can, but not yet. Um, that's not until like level 45-ish. Sardine would work. Let's go with a bigger one though. Ooh, skipping time. Skipping time's a good one. So, if you're on the computer, You hit T. Now you can't have a rod out, so you would have to put them both away. So like one of the big secrets that you'll get later is that once you have a boat, you can jump in the boat and jump out the boat, and it'll automatically put your rods up for you. I think I cast that too far. I cast that 300 yards. Sorry, 100 yards because that was 300 feet. Jeez. Now on a controller, I think it was Y button. I think. All right, here we go. Controller's X and ground PS. Thank you. Um, if you buy the Amazon, that boat's better than like this boat by a little bit. Oh, PC is the T button. Lonestar. Um, if you've got the if you've got a rod holder, go for catfish while you're catching everything else. That's the easiest tip I can tell you for Lonestar. Oh, sorry, money. Sorry, that's experience. Um, if you're trying to make money, you want to go for bass and crappie. Map should be playing right now. You're level 9, right? 9, you're still fine. You don't really want to switch until you're like level 12. As long as you're still getting enough experience. Because you need money? Yeah, so, go bass. There's a spoon that they give you, or that you can buy, I forget which one. And it's a really small spoon, but if you can get that moving through the water, a lot of bass will start biting it. Or if they give you, or if you can get small minnows yet, you can put those underneath a float, potentially catch bass. Lonestar, what bait? Um, in all honesty, if you're going for bass, wait, were you going for bass on Lone Star? Or just Lone Star in general? If you're just going Lone Star in general, worms will catch most everything you need there, like red worms. And if you happen to have a rod holder, get your second rod set up for bottom fishing and put like pet food on it. And then go to that little spot that I was talking about where the deeper water is and cast for catfish right there. I'll show you how to mark your map in a second, if I can catch this. What about Leslie? Well, I don't know who she is, but I don't want to get her involved unless she knows what she's getting into. I don't remember what it's called, to be completely honest with you. It's been so long since I've been on Lonestar. Does anybody else happen to know off that's in chat or have the shop pulled up? Because it's not a regular bottom rod. It's called something else. I like how it corrected Niall to Leslie. That's hilarious. If you're in the Nile, just use the stuff I'm pretty much using. Like, I think the only thing that you can't get is like maybe the Araku, like the banded Araku. I think everything else is pretty much the same. Rod from, man, don't make me lie to you. I don't remember. You gotta remember, there's a lot of rods I've been through. I think Telefloat was your first bait casting rod, but I am not 100% positive. Try to catch some of the sharks closer. Alright, let me get some water. Come here, shark. Quit going backwards. Get over here. There we go. A young. So I'll show you in a minute how to determine what the rods do. Let me lend these sharks real quick. Bloodworms? Any worms. Like, they'll all work. Maybe they're called bloodworms or redworms. Redworms. Or grubs. Come here. It's a little shark. Do I even have... Okay, yeah, red worms are level 1. These are going to be very powerful through most of the early levels. Small cut bait's going to be one of your first forays into catfish specific stuff. You'll also have like cheeses, pet food. Those will also be catfish. But the cheese can also be used for like carp. For that one, like I think there's like a Czechoslovakia level you can hit at 12, and there's a Belgium level you can hit at like level 3. But you can use the cheese there. Um, there's also going to be, what's it called? It's like dough balls. I don't know if I have. So like, yeah, dough balls. Those will catch you some carp as well. There should be. I threw most of my baits back. I'm having trouble remembering. Beetle larva. It's always pretty good. Bloodworms are always good once you get up. Grub barley's alright. But you want to have something that's like a predator. So like, for example, like the smallest one I have here is small minnows. The moment you can get small minnows is the moment you can start catching bass, you can start catching big crappie and other predator fish without having to use like a bait cast rod. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back and I'll show you how to determine what the rods do. But I have to pee, so give me a second. Alright, I'm back. Still can't seem to catch a fish even though you did what you told me. Okay. Alright, here's your first lesson. Pull up your menu, go to map. So, I don't know if anyone's ever told you about the peak, but what that means, it's easier to see like here. You see this general thing right here throughout the day, and this like goes up and down. What this shows you is when fish are biting the most in general. So your fish activity, like the day I'm fishing right now, is going to spike between 8 p.m. and 9. That's when the most fish activity is going to happen. Then there's an even bigger peak from like 9 to 11, like right in that 10 period. But then fishing kind of keeps dropping and dropping. Now, the best way to describe it is that you can still catch fish at any time, but you are much more likely to catch fish when it's higher. You'll also notice that if, so for example, my fish finder will start, it does a beep every time a fish spawns. If I'm in this area or this area, you'll hear it beeping a lot. That'll tell me that that's a fish that spawned that would potentially be, biting if I happen to have a bait in the right area. But as it drops away, you'll notice the beeps will get less and less and less frequent. Now that's what you need to know for the lower levels. So you need to manipulate time, like you know how I moved it over? Like notice I started here, right as everything's starting to go up. I'm trying to catch all the fish I can in this little bit here because of the number 2 reason to know about peaks. Peaks also show you when the fish spawn that are the biggest. Now this isn't going to matter much early on, but as you get higher in levels, this will matter more. So if we fish, click fish species. So for example, let's just take this dude for an example. Common, trophy, and unique. You can catch commons anytime. You can't get trophies and uniques until you're in that peak. And when you're in the peak, whatever the biggest version is going to be your rare spawn. So for example, I was fishing for arapaima earlier. I haven't caught a unique yet today because it's the highest levels rarity. So in your peak, at each spot where they spawn, one unique will pop out during the middle of that. Maybe. You should get several youngs. You should get a few common. You should get 1, maybe 2 trophies. And if you get your 1 unique, try your best to land it. So the reason that I do that thing where I catch at one spot and then immediately drive to a second spot is because either I've caught all these and I'm just waiting for the unique to spawn, but because it's not spawning, I'm wasting my time because the other fish are biting that are not like trophy arapaima or common arapaima. Like they're not worth the experience. So if I drive to a new spot, so like I jumped on my boat and drove over, you can catch all these again from the new spot. And that's why I was catching the young, the trophy at the second spot before I drove back. So like just now with the sharks, I caught 2 young. So my odds now, because I'm still low, I can probably catch a regular common shark and maybe I can catch a trophy. The trophy is not guaranteed at all. Just like now perch at Congo. Exactly. What's up, man? But it's the same thing for anything. So, like, we're something without unique. I mean, I'm one of the last levels, so like, they're all gonna mostly be uniques. Let's just say that on the first level, like, cause like your first few levels, you're only gonna be able to catch like commons. So as long as you're in that peak, all it's really telling you is when they'll spawn the most. but that's pretty much the rundown on peaks. So that is more than likely the reason that you weren't catching anything at that time. Now, there's also a tiny chance that while you were in there, you weren't catching anything. And that's because no matter what, like if you read each individual fish's thing, they will kind of hint at the time of day or the depth at where they typically feast at, or where they eat, or where they live, um, depending on time of day and depending on the weather. So, for example, in what was the last level? Not Maku Maku. What was right after that? The last one where basically I was doing nothing but catfishing. I came to realize that the catfish don't bite at night randomly. So, the moment it turned dark, I would fish for something else. It was a huge waste of my time because they just would not bite no matter what. Now here, they'll still bite if there's bad weather, but they're going to be less likely to bite if there's bad weather. So you'll notice that I'll just catch a ton of fish if it's sunny. But as the weather gets worse and cloudier, I'll catch less and less fish. Does that clear it up? I'm frozen. Oh, jeez. Move, move. Okay, that's moving. I'm moving on this one. Moving. Refresh the stream. Okay. Maybe my fixed it. Nope, 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 wrong button. Got a Raku. Got a huge cut bait on there. Wish that guy would say if that helped him or not. Is he still in here? Let me see. Yep, he's still in here. Maybe he's catching a fish. Hopefully, and that's the reason that he didn't respond. Okay, cool. Did that help you? Like, were you able to catch a fish now? Because I'm trying to keep it simple because everything in this game is geared very close to real life. You caught Hornwood. Cornwort. Oh, I'm sorry, man. So everything has its very, very simple answer, but also its more complicated answer. I'm trying not to throw too much at you because the game's completely different whenever you're just starting versus whenever you're like my level. Because there's a lot of tips I can give you. Um, but the biggest thing I can tell you once you're still tiny, wait, you'll straight up catching fish in Rocky Lake. Star can't catch anything for everything I try. Check the peaks. But you also got to remember that Lonestar is also the starting level, so it's not going to have the best rate of catch. Um, and the Rocky Lake is like the way I've always said, it's like it's downplayed, but it's one of the better levels at the beginning. That one and oh, what's the one with the truck that's in the water? Um, The name of that map is evading me. But those two are my favorite early levels. Move to another place just because you can't catch bass. Then go for brim. Oh, I forgot to show you the rods. Okay, let me catch this real quick. I'll show you how to do rods. I did say I would do that. I will try my best to keep my word. I do fish in real life. In fact, I've got my rods behind me over here. I haven't gone fishing in a while because I don't have a boat. And at least over here where I live, you pretty much have to have a boat to go anywhere. There's not a whole lot of fishing that's decent off of docks. Because everything's rivers. Oh, you probably got tons of lakes then. And ponds. Yeah, Louisiana's worse. Like, there's a few places, especially if you're further west, where you can fish on the bank a lot easier. Um, but for the most part, it's really difficult if you don't have a boat. Oh, nice. That was one of the highlights of visiting my friend. Oh, wait, let me put this over here. In Oklahoma. So they had the same thing. I owe that mostly because, Oklahoma's very boring. So they needed something to do. So they had a pond installed. Alright, let's. But God, I loved going over there visiting and just fishing like all day. Ah, damn it, I lost that one. Stupid sharks. Personal best? Any fish? I caught a 30. It was a little bit bigger than 30, but I didn't have an actual scale with me. We caught a whole bunch of black drum. Like we were going for just whatever would bite in a canal. But I caught two. My brother caught three. It was great. We had the hookup with someone who was like, they do shrimping in one next to one of the canals. So we were very, very lucky, and we got to like hand pick the shrimp out of it. So we were getting like 6, 7 inch shrimp, hooking them up and then dropping them out in the water, just seeing what would bite. Jigs, yeah, everything counts. But no, that was really fun. But like they hit really hard for like 2 hours. Then my rod snapped, and right after my rod snapped, they stopped biting everything. Because I don't know what I hooked, but we couldn't get it to turn, and it just kept going down the canal. I think I hit like a tree or something, because it didn't feel like there was any movement. It was just my bait was just going. So it was either something very, very, very big, but lazy, or what I think it was just like a log that was submerged, that was just moving with the current. but we could not get it to turn. Like we were popping to the left, popping to the right, trying to get it out, and it just kept going and going and going. So finally, it was like just pull hard, try to bend the hook, and then it was a cheap rod, so like it didn't surprise me when it broke. My stuff's better now. But I mean, I would still do it again because I was still like solid fun for 2 hours. I've got like one of every kind. I got a couple spinning, two, no, one spinning, three bait cast. Sorry, two spinning, three bait cast, and one spin cast. Come here, Sharky. Hey, don't run, boy. Come here. Yeah, there you go. Where am I at in the game? I'm at the Amazon River. Sorry, the Amazonian maze. There we go. Hey, so that's a regular bull shark. See, he's a little bigger. Pop my head up over the thing. Okay. All right. So promise. Let me make sure he's still here. Still here? Yeah. Okay. So if you got a moment, this is how you determine what your rods do. Like first of all, like here, it'll kind of tell you. But if you just click rods, so you'll notice that every one I'm on, they have this grid pattern here. This tells you what they're for. So number one, they're going to tell you spinning or bait cast. The two main types of reels. Second, it's going to tell you if it's made for a float or if it's made for lures. So generally, these two will be highlighted for a bait cast. A spinning may have all three of these highlighted, and that means it can be used for everything. Now, if it only has, where's an example? Like this one, where it only has spinning, this is made for a bottom rod. Because you're not going to use floats, you're not going to use lures. And you have to have a bottom rod to fish on the bottom. You can have this type here. In fact, like the one I'm using right now is this one. Because it's got that lure highlighted on the right, that one's made for floats. Because I'm using this one now, but that's the better one of that kind. But I think the first few, the ones that you can use in the early game, kind of look like these for bottom rods. I just don't remember what they're called. So by that same token, like if you're about to buy, let me just show you. So like number 2 setup, this is a bait cast setup I have made for like bass. And I've got an actual like all this stuff matches up here. And then like 5's my other one. Because you hit a certain point where the reels that are made here are stronger than like your general purpose, because you can use a spinning reel, especially early game, to also use lures. But once you get past a certain point, the bait cast reels are better. And these like spinning reels are just better for either floats or bottom rods. So you have to have the correct type of rod. Then you can put the reel on it, and then you just got to make sure you have string that's made good enough for it. So, for example, what's a better match? Three's a good match. So let me switch to it. Yeah. So this one's power, like the line weight, is made up to 77 pounds. So we go to the line. We have 88 pounds, so it's a little bit bigger. Oh, hey, what's up, Cody Pro? So this line is a little bit bigger than that, so that's not a huge deal. Because you got to remember, this is braid. Braid's a little bit thinner. Then this is also 77 pounds. So because these are both maxed out at the same, and this is thinner, we can use this 87-pound leader and still be perfectly fine. And that's why whenever you see me catch a fish with this setup, it maxes out on the right side. Okay. Does that help? Um, because basically what I'm saying is you got to match the type of rod with the type of fishing you want to do, and then you can match everything else to fit that rod. And my general recommendation is early on in the game, the moment you can buy a rod holder, buy a rod holder so you can have that sitting waiting for like a catfish to bite or or you can have it in like crappie mode to catch crappie, and then you can pull out your other rod and start fishing on the sides. Or you can have like another reel rod, like a match rod. Or you can do like I'm doing here using a lure, seeing what you can catch. Hey, peacock. Got 3 bass so far, but the bite stopped. You probably caught the max for that little spawn location. So just move around the bit, move around. Watch. Before I go to bed, I'll show you what I mean in Lonestar. Because I have been there where I've spent literally all of my money, and then I had to make it all back just so I could get just back into some decent levels. So I've been there with no money. It sucks and it's not fun. Yeah, it happens. You gotta remember, like, the game's also kind of designed that way. Because you gotta remember, like, they kind of want you to spend the money to get the DLC. So it's one of those things like it takes a while to do anything, especially as you start leveling. So any mistake you make is like magnified is the best way to put it. Oh, did you see the free worms at Lonestar? There's a free pile of worms. Got 2 more bass? Good. See, you're getting there. What is that? Pointed it over here. That's not where I cast you. Stop and go with a mini bass jig. I'll do it. Wow, these sharks do not want to bite anymore. I wanted to test to see if I could catch a trophy with my new stuff. There we go. The power of cut bait. Here we go. Come on, Sharky. And welcome back. I have a Sharky on. And hopefully he's a good boy. Right, Shark? And you're going to get caught, right? And not jump out of the water and get off. That would make you a bad shark. Come on, get over here. There you go. Come on, baby shark, let's go. Look how tiny this one is. 63-inch. Smaller than most of them. And there's still a shot we can catch the unique, or the trophy. We'll recast these. Just in case they glitched or something. That's always possible. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I think one ate the prawn. Did it? Yes. I will give him the old crab. No, the blood. Blood. Sharks love blood. Sharks are like vampires. Alright, maybe this is it. Don't think this one's huge. Alright, let's see this one. Do not think that one is either. Oh, there's a third one. Alright, we'll see what's on here. This one... It's the rod doing the jerky thing? Not really. Okay. Okay, so that one's most likely to be a big one. Jeez, these sharks. I'm gonna try to catch all three of these. We'll see what happens. So this one's got a little of the shakies. That might be the one that I think is bigger than the others. These sharks will stop jumping. Okay. Okay, okay. See you over there, shark. Yeah, this one at 200 has to be a big fish. This fish is just a tease. Oh, which one did I lose? Oh, did I lose the giant one? God damn it. hate these sharks. Chill the hell out. No, the moment I put you down, you gotta surface. Or swim right towards me. Every time. No, they're both loose. God damn it. Damn it, I hate sharks. I hate these sharks. Their self-preservation is too high. And I can't even focus on like turning the fish or anything. See that shark, like the moment I put it down, it jumps. I hit the key to do a fast switch, and it jumps. Get your sharky ass over here. Quit running from me. If I can catch one of these two, then I can actually fight them properly by turning them and stuff. God damn it. Good. Just get over here. I hate you. Alright. Turn. so much easier when there aren't two other sharks on the line. God. Jeez. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I shall be back in 3 minutes. All right, I'm back. Okay. I'm gonna leave. Okay. I'm gonna give you Jesse's Guide to Lonestar. Okay. Fix everything. Okay. So, in order to do Jesse's Guide to Lonestar, we must first head to Lonestar. Okay, so like I was saying, this is basically an oval. There's a bridge in the house. This is the corner that I like. Now, pretty much want to spawn over here all the time unless you're going specifically for the monster fish and you want to spawn here. So let's look at the stuff. Alright, so number one. Are you over here? Is that you? Dayu? This guy's just destroying some fish over here. Okay, so if we walk over here, we're going to find my favorite spot in the game. Okay, I don't think you're in mine then. So we're going to go over here under this tree. What we're going to do is we can... Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. We technically could go up here, go across this little bridge, and go, well, at least get in between the fence. That's not what we're going to do. What we want to do is get right up here. So you get stuck behind this bush, but that's fine. That's what we want. Because you see my little marker out there. We're going to hit map. We're going to hit him. So you remember, like I told you, darker colors mean deep. So what I did was I put a marker right where it's deep. This is the deepest spot of this entire area. So you can do that. Let me, just in case you've never seen it, I'm gonna delete this one. Boop, delete. Okay, so click plus, and it's gonna give you a crosshair. So what you want to do is, if you want to be as accurate as possible, you can zoom in. So this deep spot right here, just click it, boop, drops a spot. Now you can also mark it right after you catch a fish, and it'll save the fish's data and everything here for you. You won't have to physically mark it on here. It'll show you exactly where the fish was like spawned when it bit. So you want to mark that spot because you technically want to. I'm just going to show you with this. Overkill it. You want to have that set up. I think number one, head blood, and need auto hook. So you want to have this cast to that spot as close as possible. Here. So while that rod, like you want to probably have a bottom rod with the bells on it so that it'll ding, it'll make that noise whenever they're biting. So while it's doing that, let me switch this bait. I'm using like really high level stuff. You shouldn't look much like that at all. I'm just trying to show you an example. Okay, so one of my favorite early on combinations was bass jig plus, where's it at? Grub. 2-inch grub. So a little bitty bass jig with a grub on it. So this, and then what I would do is I would position myself, because if you cast here, when you pull it in, it's going to go in between these. So every little thing that you pull it by that can spawn a fish has a chance of spawning a fish. So if I cast here, now I think, yeah. So at this particular, with this setup, I can go straight slow and just do it like that. And there's a very high, now I'm not in the peak at all, so if I get a bite, it's going to be weird. I shouldn't get a bite. Yeah, discard. Um, Casting here, and then just every now and then randomly just hucking one as far as you can into the middle. You can use a bass jig anywhere. Like, just because, so generally, if you're bass fishing, you want to do what's called sight fishing. So sight fishing means you want to figure out spots where a bass is likely to spawn and try to hit as many of those as fast as possible. That's how all the tournament fishermen in like real life win, because they go up and down like rivers or the edges of stuff, and they just cast at lily pads, they cast at trees, they cast at docks, they cast at anything that'll potentially have a bass just chilling. So that's setup one. Let me pick this back up. Do. And the reason I have this set up is because catfish are worth the most XP relative to how fast it takes to catch them. Okay, take that. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so back over here. I'll show you my second favorite spot. If you fish from here-ish, just somewhere along here, it's the same thing where you can cast into these areas anywhere that's right near the lily pads and catch bass. Now, in case you didn't know, that's a picture of a worm. You can get free red worms right here from digging in there. Now there's a couple of spots back here where you can actually get to the edge. See the little path? Like right here. This is a good little decent spot. There's one over there, and I think there's like one or two more down there. Yeah. So these spots are really good for crappie and bass. Okay. Continue tour of map. There's a spot over here I need to show you before we go to the final spot. I am PC. So this is the spot where it spawned you your first time in. Most people just walk right up to the water and start fishing, which you can do. Once you're closer to a max level as far as like your rods and stuff, found another star that's a PC user. I didn't know it was that difficult. I'm sorry. So this general area spawns smallmouth buffalo. You need to use a bottom rod is most likely acceptable, and you need to use number twos. And then I think it's dough balls that speak Russian, not Russian or Arabic. Oh, my bad. I only know one language. Okay. But smallmouth buffalo, and let me show you them, are this level's big fish. Like, this is the one that you're going to try to get that besides it and the spotted bass, like smallmouth buffalo give you the most experience and the most money. Spotted bass are up there for most money, and channel catfish are up there for experience. All the rest of them are easy enough to catch that it's not really worth going through. You only know English as well? Well, that's good. We'll be able to communicate. Now, the last thing we're going to do is what this person's doing over here. I'm going to show you that spot. So I'm not certain if anybody's told you. So as much as of a great fishing simulator this game is, it's also still a video game. So one of the things that it has, at least in every level, is a boss fish. And this one's boss fish spawns here. Specifically, here. That's why this guy's chilling right here. And that fish is actually... Where's he at? So your smallmouth buffalo can get to 3.3 pounds. Oh, I actually caught it on pet food. And then the boss version of him is... Where's he at? Right in here somewhere. It's called the Mad Eye Buffalo. I think I passed it up. Where's he at? No? Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's like 6 and 7 pounds. Okay. Flounder. There he is. This is the biggest thing that you can catch at this lake. It's a 12-pound smallmouth buffalo, but huge. Now you have to trigger that by, if I remember correctly, you have to catch so many of the, um, it's like a leader with like a hook that's in it. You catch so many of those, and then you can make a special leader that's like really, really thin. Then you can use that to catch this. No, use it. You make a special fishing line. Then you use that to make the really visible fishing line, and then you can fight that. I've played this game for like 3, almost 4 years. But yeah, but anywhere else where you see here, as long as you've got floats and you're using like worms, you're gonna catch uh, crappie, you're gonna catch the little roaches, you're gonna catch the little minnows. You're gonna catch a whole bunch of that. That's not a big issue. But those spots, like for example, that spot right there, that's money. That's catfish. This spot right there for those smallmouth buffaloes. The spot there for the boss. And then the last thing I tell you is just because of how this terrain works, and it's kind of like I was saying earlier, this terrain right here, because it gets a little tiny bit deeper, casting as far as you can, and then pulling in with any type of bass rig will typically catch them. But you'll catch a bass there too. In general, they try not to make this one too difficult to catch stuff, so you can catch stuff almost anywhere you cast. And that is it. That is Lonestar, the Jesse Guide to getting your money back if you accidentally spend it all and have to go back to Lonestar. But the moment you can get out, and I think you go to Rocky Lake's pretty good. I like Rocky Lake. Mudwater's okay. I preferred Rocky Lake. Naren. Naren is amazing. Yeah, you can add me. It's cool. I'm about to go to bed though. I got work tomorrow, and it's like 4:30 in the morning. I can give you a rundown on Naren tomorrow if I stream. But Naren is my favorite for a very good reason. Yeah, everybody can add me. Emerald? Emerald, once you can get to it, is one of the best levels. Purely because of like the walleye and stuff. I like Naren better because of some shenanigans I can show later. Well, not really shenanigans. There's a spot where you can catch bass, like it's almost a guaranteed bass every time you cast, and you can catch catfish, like the bigger catfish, and you can catch gar, all from one spot. It's amazing. But there's a reason that I actually bought the unlimited pass for this level, because it's amazing. So now every time I run out of money, you just made 5k. There you go, man. No problem. But yeah, like this level's great. Emerald's great. Like these two are a lot of people's favorite levels. Well, no, actually, a lot of people hate Naren. Emerald Lake is a lot of people's favorite because they probably likes catching walleye. Um, People hate Lone Star. A lot of people hate Rocky Lake. I actually really like it. You can catch some pretty fun trout. But like, you don't even worry about boats. Not till later. Oh, and like, what is it? This one? Never go to this level. This level is terrible. One day I'm going to go back to this level and catch all the fish there. But I hated this one with a passion because I couldn't catch anything. I'm better at the game now. One day I'll go back and finish this one and this one, because this is the other one that I couldn't catch anything on. This one's a giant canal. Alright, everybody. Situations because you spent hella money on Rocky Lake and barely made money. Oh, so all you gotta do is... Let me show you. I'll show you something real quick. Do I have the unlimited? Yeah, I have the unlimited. Okay. Ain't gonna cost me nothing. I'll show you a quick little trick. Spawn at the second spot. This is the spot you want to be at. Over there is for chumps. So, typically I use float rods, and typically I use, it's like trout eggs. I usually have one here, and then I throw my lure over here. Because anywhere where there's jumping fish is going to be a spot where the bigger trout bite, because you can catch the, what are they? Because see, you can catch some of these uniques, like the cutthroat, the golden. But the rainbow is the one you want. That's the biggest one. Fish right there with a nano spinner. Yeah, nano spinners will do that. I think I was using the shad. Okay, well, it was cool. I'm tired. I gotta put this on YouTube anyway. Have a good night.